Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of the Ranger 363V restoration. This is part 24 of the series, and today we're going to be working on getting the motor running. So without further ado, let's get into it. All right, Dad, so what's going on with the motor? Your synopsis.
Well, we're definitely getting fuel. We're getting fuel to the bulbs. It's trying to start over, but my suspicion is the jetways, or whatever you want to call them, up in here, these little cavities are probably blocked up. And as much as we don't want to take this apart, I think we don't really have much option. So the game plan right now is to pull this cover off, take a bunch of photographs, make sure we put it back the right way. Take this front cover off, and we're going to see if we can pull just one of the carburetors. We'll pull one of the carburetors, take a good look at it, see what the problem is, and then determine whether or not we want to try to rebuild it ourselves or send them out. One of those kind of situations. But my suspicion is it's just dry fuel, just like anything else when it sets up. We're getting plenty of fuel. We're getting way too much fuel. I just think these passages up in here are just blocked up, so it might just be an ultrasonic clean job. New gasket set, back in business. So we'll update you on how we're going to go about it.
So here we're just taking apart the carbs to see if there's any gunk or goop anywhere that's stopping the gas from flowing to the cylinders. And to be honest, these carbs were extremely clean. It's like the owner had just rebuilt them. The floats were new, all the gaskets and seals were new. However, when we did take apart two of the carbs, we ended up damaging the gaskets, so we had to go ahead and order those gaskets as well to fix them. So we kind of figured out that that's not really the problem, and we needed to look elsewhere. So we ended up looking at the fuel pump like membranes, and my dad will talk about that later on here in the video.
So I guess the big question is what did we find? And I'm sure Michael will edit in some footage to show you what we was doing. But what kind of surprised us is it looks and appears that the carburetors have been rebuilt. We had problems with two of the gaskets on 2 and 3. I'm not sure if that was when they were put back together or when we took them apart, so we're going to have to order a couple of gaskets for these. And those gaskets sit in here. So, you know, like I said, it could have been from reinstallation or when we took them apart. Carburetors are really clean. We checked all of the alleys and everything else, sprayed stuff through them, and it doesn't appear that we've got any problems with the carburetors that I can tell. So what we did find was it does not look like the pumps have been rebuilt. The pumps do not appear to have been apart, and the diaphragms and stuff were not in the best of shape. So we're going to order a set of diaphragms, available less than $10 a piece. So we'll rebuild these and put them back in. Get the 2 new gaskets for these and put them all back together and back to square one. We know what we've got now. Before we didn't know what we had. We're hoping this here does the trick. Who knows? But we're fairly confident in our carburetors. Not at all confident in this. So we've got our fingers crossed that that's where the problem. If not, then we're going to have to investigate it further on what potentially could be the problem. So I'm sure in some of the other footage, if you have any questions or what have you, put them down below. I don't know how Michael's going to edit this, but we've taken some footage. The one thing I'd like to say is that it is important to have really good screwdrivers when you're taking the carburetors apart. In this case, we just happen to have broke out the snap-ons and the icons, but make sure that if you're going to do something like this, you have good screwdrivers, especially a narrow screwdriver, which we didn't have a snap-on one for, to get down to get the jets and stuff out. We actually have the snap-on guy coming back by later on today because we wanted a screwdriver to get these out. We were able to get them out by modifying this, but it would be nice to have one to get them in and out without buggering them up. So that's basically all I've got. You got any input on this?
Nope, learned how to clean a carburetor.
So I've been doing this for a long time. It's really not that difficult, and maybe I don't know, if you'd like to see more about them, put some comments in and convince my son that we'll do a little video on carburetors to show you guys. He keeps telling me this is not what the channel's all about, but I'm kind of one of those people. I don't mind sharing what I know, which is not much, but make sure you have a good layout, good tools, because there's nothing worse than breaking off one of the jets. So anyway, you guys have a great day. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share.